think and know for a complete fact without any evidence whatsoever.
Leaking, holiday cards, and just the tip. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do. So, you know that we had water issue problems.
I do. You're all done with that. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Amy.
Oh, it's going to be that kind of show. Buckle
You
in,
give
bitches.
people nicknames. I tried to elongate your name just now, like
You don't-
Amaruna Gills.
Amala. I'm trying to think of all the ones that I've had over the years. They're usually riffs on my last name, so
Fagazel,
well, it is kind of a fun name, so people would usually have fun with it or just use it. You know, if my last name was like Douche Nozzle, they'd probably call me Douche Nozzle.
What if your last name was Brilliant?
Well, that's pretty rough and hard to live up to. I imagine it's more difficult on the kids
Much.
than it is. Truthfully, and I'm so fucking sick of him. I imagine it's hardest on the man himself. Because when
So fucking sick of him.
I mean, do we have to let's pity Mr. Perfect once again, you fucking twit dick. So in walks into the emergency room. You've got like some previously attached part is dangling. Your eyeballs are going baruga like the Looney Tunes thing.
It's just
and
a
in
flesh
walks
wound.
Dr. Brilliant. Whew. Okay, this clown better not fuck it up. I mean, it's how you got to be pretty good when you're Dr. Brilliant. You got a doctorate in brilliance. That's tough.
So do you think walking into his ED, it's confidence inspiring or, oh yeah, fucking show me, challenge accepted? Like what?
Well, I'm here to tell you that I would. He's a striking gentleman. He's a force. He's very tall. Commanding. Walks in, holds his head up. His name is Dr. Brilliant. Probably takes a pen and taps it so you saw it on his chest plate, right? Indeed, Earthling, Dr. Brilliant is here.
What's your first name? Douche
Yes.
Nozzle?
Yes.
Douche Nozzle Brilliant?
My first name is Told Ya. Toldjime. Yeah, my name is Toldjime Brilliant. Yeah.
That's our next dog.
Yes. You're wrong, and I'm. Yeah. That's
You're
him.
just naming dogs for me
Well,
now.
no, I'm just saying it's better than walking into, what is it, Dr. Douche Nozzle. I think I would request, check please. I would go to a different room.
Anyone else?
I don't know. Like, what's that guy on The Simpsons? The doctor on The Simpsons.
Unless,
Who
of
is
course,
like, hi, I'm Dr. Never Went to School. Like, I don't remember what his name is.
unless it's your OB and you have
Okay.
Dr. Douche
And
Nozzle.
Well, that's, but even that, come on. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Who's ever used a douche? And are there douche nozzles? I mean, isn't the whole thing like, I don't even know, and why would I? Come on. Really?
It's a funny word. We actually had a friend who was in advertising who was doing work for like Summer's Eve or some other douche
I remember that
company.
year. Oh, yeah.
And-
I remember
and
that year.
She put out a call to our powerful group of 11 women and said, I'm looking for, do you have stories of?
I
And
ask you with hat in hand.
right. Before she could even finish her text, she was barraged with, don't ever fucking douche. Quit your job. Kill yourself. Like she just got all
This
of
same
this shit.
unfortunate soul had not only that campaign, but then later in her storied career, she had Walmart to promote. And it was like, yeah, even the face. And it was like, this was before, I gotta say, can I say, compared to how Walmart was when she was marketing it, this was before that little butthole starlet that they used for their logo now. I mean, before they were sort of cool, they're not even cool. Before they were like baby Target, when Walmart was still just like, scene of the crime was at the local Walmart. I mean,
Right.
it was just, that's all they were known for. was
35 trampled
stabbings.
for
Yeah.
a 16-inch
And
TV.
like kitty litter incidents in the frozen food section. Like that's all they were known for. And she was marketing them then. But when they had that the rollback was the biggest thing. Anyway, everybody hated Walmart even worse than many of us still hate it. And she got a reft. I remember her sitting there saying, well, guys, they exist, and so do I, and I need a paycheck, so we're going to market them. Somebody has to market them, and it's going to be me. It's like she was on Star Wars and had to market the Death Star, right? She's like, you know what? We built it, and it's a fine piece of machinery, and somebody's got to promote this thing. Darth is a good guy.
There's a fatal flaw. There's a fatal
flaw. It's okay. It's not my problem. I just need to get more people to buy it, right? That's what advertising is. Sometimes it's just about selling the thing that's your soul kind of piece of it. But that's okay. Back to you, Melissa.
It still needs to be done. You're right. You're right. I mean, there are horrible
all this
people.
From douche nozzle. I'm just trying to say what we discovered in that moment is that I think 2-1. None of us had used one, and then we had 2 of the hippies got really up in arms saying like, and the other reason that your vaginal flora and blah, 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 blah. They just really wanted to stick their heads up your twat and tell you everything that's inside, like a spelunker's flashlight was on their forehead, and they're like, investigating inside, it's delightfully moist. It's stop it. Yeah, no, we didn't. We were anti Summer's Eve douche nozzle.
It was fun to read that thread of the attack. It was like it became a personal attack to her because she has this job, and everybody was against it. You know, one person had tried it, and then every swarm, like it was the worst possible response.
How can you walk the planet? Like it was not.
I think she just posted sorry. It disappeared for probably 11 years now. She hasn't said a word on that text chain.
And there was something like we were talking about, you know, I wouldn't change my Lady Flora for all the whatever, and you know, you ought to be putting out products that smell like my Lady Flora already. Like it was like we were marketing perfume.
Soap and water.
We diverged from the topic question, I think, is really what happened in that poor little focus group. But they did get a chuckle out of it.
She asked for it, so let's be honest.
You know what? That should be the name of our podcast.
You asked for it. That's actually a really good idea. Brilliant observations, you asked for it.
You asked for it. You did. Doctor. Yeah. Okay.
I started with the leak. I got a new water. I live in the middle of nowhere. We have a well, and the groundwater has all these elements that you really don't want. We have salt that we put in to take stuff out.
All 3 of those things are not true. But continuing on,
we have to have this filtration system that takes out those hard elementy things. And so this year, we've had that replaced. These 3 massive, they look like missiles in our utility room.
Right.
Then we had a little hot water leak. Our hot water heater leaked. So we had an estimate of, I can charge you $500 for that, but I can't guarantee you it's going to last more than 4 months.
Great.
And I said, okay, so if you were handing out...
let me show you the door. This way.
Follow me. Follow my Flora.
Yeah, keep that mask on. Yeah.
If you were handing out guarantees, which one would you hand out with that $500? So we replaced that fucker. And then yesterday morning, Stuart went to let the dogs out, and he heard plink, 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 which is the sound of a drip.
Your wallet actually having money
leaking.
Exit. Yeah.
Right. Our leaking wallet and ceiling.
It's your bank account alarm. Yeah, going off.
So there's another leak in another pipe, which I refer you back to the basement for that pipe leak, which ruined all of our memories.
Why is everything leaking? Are they angry? Are your pipes angry? Are you very angry? Are your pipes angry with you? Did you offend them?
Did you put
them on an Indian burial ground, Native American burial ground?
Is this poltergeist? Is that what's happening?
I'm asking.
So it's a water poltergeist that we're having, and yes, it possibly is. I don't really know much.
Yeah.
So,
what did your son say? Your son was saying something.
He
about
said,
this?
"Pack your shit, Mom. We're moving." I'm so sick of this.
He's decided before they start coming through the television, we got to get out.
Right before the water flows through the TV because it's not. Yeah. So yeah, he said, let's get the fuck out of here. I said, you're going to want someplace to come home after you're in college. And this ark is going to be it.
We're already making it watertight. Yeah.
We are gathering the animals 3 by 3 is what we're doing. So far, 3 dogs.
Got the jump on that.
Yes. Yeah. So we are now waiting for early this week for a plumber to come and tear open the ceiling and fix it. So we can hire another contractor to close the ceiling, and
I don't want that to happen.
well,
Let's not make that happen. Let's do something else though. Did you pick this? Was this your choice?
what is the other choice?
Do you Peloton? Is this your intention of every ride? Bring me a leak.
Stuart asked me if I could power the house while riding Peloton. I said yes for 20 minutes each week. That's what
Is he trying to make you Ed Begley Jr.? What in the fuck?
with his electric car?
Ed Begley Jr. powers his house with a bike. Do you not know this?
I didn't.
Do you know,
I knew he had
first
the
of all,
very
do you know
first
Ed
electric
Begley
car.
Jr., that tall, banana-looking, lispy, eyeglasses, weird actor? Yeah, I'm sure he's
St. Elsewhere.
delightful.
Yeah.
He's on St. Elsewhere?
Remember? Wasn't he on
No.
St. Elsewhere?
I don't know. I didn't watch that. Anyway, Ed Begley Jr., look him up. I know his name because every time he talks like this, he's very tall.
That's mean.
It's like tell his mouth. I didn't make his mouth that way. You're the one that's mean. That's his sound. You just presume that his sound is so stupid that we should mock it. And I've got to say, I agree. But that's not our fault.
I didn't say that. You said it and you agreed.
Nope. So next. All right.
Nope.
So Ed Begley Jr., right, powers his
Yes.
whole stupid solar eco-green house. At least he did it on a TV show once, which I presume is completely accurate and truthful. On a bicycle. Like if you want toast, if you want the blender to work, you just get on here and you ride the bike. And so he rides it and rides it and rides it and rides it and rides it. And then bing, he can watch like 20 minutes of TV. Good for you, Ed. No thanks. So he's got all of it hooked up to
He's going to live forever.
and with no one wanting to be with him. Why would you want to do this? No. I
I
mean, I
wanna
think
interview
health is
him.
great. I think being go green planet is great. You know what? Plug that fucker in. We're okay. We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Now I want to get him as an interview for our show. So I have a leak. Do you have a leak also?
Oh wow! What a transition. In my house, I do. When you say I have a leak, it makes me go back to the feminine Eve.
No. Clearly, if I'm the one saying it, you know that it's coming out of the ceiling somewhere.
I too have a leak. So I've mentioned before that we are dishwasherless, and now we are dishwasher full.
Yay!
And the dishwasher has arrived. And it has been installed.
Poorly.
It is it was installed in order to get it installed rapidly. It was not the preferred installer. So it was someone who was not intimately familiar with this type because it's a schwanky type. He installed it. It was fine. We noticed that the stainless steel door, which is a sort of a secondary add-on, wasn't firmly attached in all places. So we were like, okay, you gotta come back and do this. So we're like, whatever. And then in noticing, there was like a little puddle on the floor. And this happened once. Disconnect in the middle of the floor, away in proximity to, but not a stream of water. Offset and sort of not really in front of the dishwasher. So we were like, which one of you crackheads came in here and like dumped a bowl of water and then like walked away from it? So we for 2 days, we kept seeing this puddle of water appear and then get wiped up and then appear. And we just kept thinking, who dropped ice that's been melting all night? Like you just don't,
Ice.
Okay. And then we put it together and there was like the whole cabinet. The floor of the cabinet is like a soggy, So fast forward all the way to the owner of the company comes out, brings a second guy. Oh, no. The original installer comes back. Oh, there's a kink in the hose. So I've adjusted that. Great. 3 days later, the leak is back.
Oh, my God.
Owner of the company comes out, goes under the house, pulls everything apart, looks at and he's like, yeah, I've got to tell you, it's your hot water undersinkerator, hot waterer thing that has been leaking. And as you'll notice, this brand new ass dishwasher ain't leaking at all. My dope did install, he did have a kink in the hose, and that was not a good thing to do. He did forget to install your panel properly, and that was not a good thing to do. But all the rest of this hardwood floor damage, which is now cupping, and cabinet damage, you're on your own, and happy holidays. So that's leak number one. And we think, okay, this is the world spins on. The world spins. Why is there a fucking leak on the other sink in the other side of the kitchen? Now we have 2 leaks, 2 cabinet leaks, because we're thoughtful to put in. You connect it to the pipe to have a filter system. We're in the city, so we just filter that water before it gets to the sink, and we replace those filters from time to time. We filter the water that goes into the ice maker in the refrigerator. We just filter the water. Okay. So the filter that was purchased failed. The filter itself was leaking. And we didn't know this until it had leaked so proficiently that it seeped through the cabinet into the hardwood floor in front of it. So we're like, great, what's that all about? Oh, it's about another cabinet that's busted. Yay. Yeah, and the husband's answer is, well, I'll have to replace that filter. I'm like, you think you're going to call the filter people? It's 100% the filter's fault. It was a faulty filter. So now what do we do? Just sit and cry about, you get to pay for it. Hala! Like, it's terribly upsetting. Because what am I really going to do? What am I really going to... But I have a culprit, What am I
at least
fucking
you
gonna
traced
do?
it back to something. At least you have an answer as opposed to,
The other one, it's a 7-year-old hot water dispenser undermount from that the fucking thing failed. I really don't think I have much recourse. It probably had like an 18-minute warranty. That I get. But the other one is a brand new filter, and it was the filter itself that leaked and did all this damage. So now I'm thinking, you don't get to call a filter company and say, hi, I'd like a whole new set of kitchen cabinets, please. And hardwood also, would you? They're going to be like, yeah, fuck off. We Amazon. Woo.
we do
not.
filters.
Yeah. You saw that. You checked that box that said you fucked when you buy this, right? So, yeah.
It doesn't really mean anything checking
check-
that box. You could
check
still...
the you fucked box. How much of a fucking headache do I have in any event? So, yeah, it's
Happy holidays.
It's leak central. I'm super over the leaking.
Yeah.
Over
We
it.
put a spackle bucket down, so now consistently you hear drip.
Oh my God.
Drip.
At least ours, it's not an active leak in our house.
Ours is active.
Oh, fuck.
Plumber's coming tomorrow. For a while we turned off all the water.
I was going to ask
Excuse
if you
me.
had done that, or could you do that? But that's a little
But then we have no water, and we have water needs. So yeah, it's not spraying, it's dripping. So we're going to
fill up all those douches. Yeah. You
we're
got to
going
have water
to deal
needs,
with it. Yeah, we are not pleased. And of course, Stuart's working 12 hours today. So when the ceiling falls, like Chicken Little, when the ceiling falls, he will not be here to deal with it.
When the dam breaks. Well, here's a tip. Don't stand under the ceiling, right?
Do you know, one of my favorite memories of ever is sitting with our dear friend Marnie in our apartment when we lived at the University of Delaware, and
Yes,
I was
I
holding
know
her
it
hair
well.
back as she
Yes,
was
I know that well. One of many
throwing-
times that happens.
she was
Yes.
throwing up in the toilet.
More
we
than
were
once.
both compromised, thought-wise. We were both very out of it, but she said, come here, I need you. She sounded a little like Ed Begley Jr. She's like, come here, I need some help.
the lisp.
So I followed her into the bathroom, as one does when your girlfriend is... Oh, because normal people know when vomit's coming, as opposed to your last story.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I held her pretty blonde hair back so it wasn't
very
chunky
pretty.
at the end of this.
She's a delight.
And out of nowhere, the mesh ceiling tiles above us
What?
fell.
There's a vomit story I don't know?
So she's throwing up, and I'm like wiping her mouth with toilet paper, and the ceiling
plaster.
and the ceiling fell down and soaked us both as I was trying to teach her a little sign language, like we were counting in sign language. But anyway, the whole ceiling fell on us, and we're like, this is toilet water that we're sitting in right now.
Oh my God.
And then I wanted to
Oh my
throw up too.
God.
So it was
Oh my
was
God.
one of my favorite stories, but not enjoyable when it's your house
No.
and the ceiling is dripping. I just had a flashback to toilet, but that's not the case. It's pipe water.
I feel so connected. There's a vomit story I hadn't known.
Yeah, well,
Imagine of
Vomit
all the
stories
ones that I
are-
actively participated in and all the rest that I've heard about.
never ending on this podcast.
Never ending vomit story. Yeah. It's
So
the
that was
new
the-
Olive Garden.
Oh, never ending salad and breadsticks. Don't forget the breadsticks.
After you eat there, it's the never ending vomit story.
And beware of ceiling tiles. So that is a University of Delaware vomit story, and I'm here to tell you that University of Delaware is not the last school, is not the only school that wants my son. I told you he got into URI.
Congratulations.
They offered him the presidential scholarship.
Wow.
So
does
he's
he have to be
getting-
president?
No, but he's going to get a sack of money.
Yay!
You can keep cheering. I don't think he's going there.
Okay. Did you
Do
tell
you
him,
think-
fuck off?
Do you think they'd give us that money to apply
Write that letter
to
to another school.
any other school?
Yeah, you could always burn the acceptance letter, take a video of it, and send it back to them and say, "Fuck you, Rhode Island."
No, I liked it, and it's
Well,
an option.
I mean, they're giving you money. It's more than an option. Goodness.
Yeah,
Does he have a major, or is he's? I would like to be educated, please.
You know, I think I might be in perimenopause here because every time I open one of these letters, Delaware gave him money too. We just got that letter that Delaware's like, here's 10 grand a year. Like, here you go. I'm like, okay, I'll take that. I every time I open these letters, I kind of cry. Like I can't read them out loud because my voice cracks and I start to cry. It's either the way they phrase it of, we see a future in you, where I think you can't even put your dishes in the dishwasher or take them from the counter to the sink, or why is there a loaf of mozzarella cheese sitting out on, like, why can't you follow through? You see great things in this? Like, you're a visionary. I've always only wanted a magic 8-ball that was going to tell me that everything will be okay. That's all I've ever wanted. I'm willing to sludge through the worst of the worst. And I have, at certain times, been through some very, very sketchy things, only to hope and have faith in, and I'm not really a faithful human, that it will get better. So to get these letters that say, we see you doing great things here, and we have plans for you, and I think it's how I'm going to feel when there's a woman or a man who loves my son not the way I do, but like to the degree that I do. And I think that my tears have to do with the fact that I'm coming to like the end of a certain stage of my life. And I don't know, I've been super crazy emotional and I don't like it at all.
Well, let me tell you something here. You are a human. And emotions are a normal part of the human experience.
Are you sure?
Yes, a full range of emotions, not just anger, hatred, and sarcasm. There are other emotions.
With those, I am quite
indeed. So you know the power. Yes, there are other emotions: pride, joy, relief.
I don't know any of those.
Optimism.
I don't know any of those.
Yeah.
I really wish Delaware gave me 10 grand a year. I just get
and
like
her
really
cynical heart softened 1 millimeter that day.
I really just can't believe that there's a future that doesn't include me saying, pick up your fucking socks. The cleaning ladies are coming tomorrow. You need to clean your room. Or did I tell you can't bring drinks upstairs? Or I'd like you to clean the pile of ants off your desk because you crumbed all over. Like, I can't believe that there's going to be a time where, see, you had that last year, except for the fact that he moved right back into your house. He's still there. Oh, I did want to tell you that Stuart got his immunization.
Oh, so
this
he has
week.
that little card. Yeah. Very nice.
They get a card?
They make a big deal about it. I'm sure he has lots of cards. They make a big deal about the CDC signs this little card like you've been vaccinated. It's your proof of vaccination. And I guess you must show it for the secondary or whatever. But yeah. So.
Oh, to get the second shot. Yeah, he got his first shot this week. And we're all staring at him waiting for limbs to fall off. As much as we believe absolutely 100% you get vaccinated for everything that you can because you want to be here. And we're just watching him. And Ethan was wrestling with him yesterday, and he's like, could you avoid that arm? Because it still did get a shot. It's a little sore, but...
I had two neighbors who participated in the Pfizer study specifically, and one of whom pretty much knew she got the placebo, and the other pretty much knew she got the vaccine. And the second shot is significantly worse than the first. The first shot was kind of like nothing. It was kind of like a flu shot. It was okay. And then the second shot knocked her down. It knocked her down for a day. But it was fine.
Okay.
Fine. And she only knows that she knew it because you fucking know this is not a placebo. And she knew it because they have since unblinded the study.
Oh,
and she
okay.
was told specifically, well, she's a physician. She was told specifically, you did get it. She's like, great. So I'm already vaccinated. Yay.
So do I get a card? Amy says I get a card. I want a card.
Yeah, that's all that matters. I want my card. Where's my gold star?
It goes right in my wallet, right next to my fan club. I can't even tell you the fan clubs I don't belong to. I am excited. My daughter is already making plans to take over the boys' bedroom and where she's going to move her clothes and
You're
furniture.
not doing any of that shit. You're
And
not
that's what I
doing
said.
You're not allowing any of that shit to happen. I'm sorry. I don't know what your plans are in your family, and this is beyond my control. And yet, you're not doing any of that, and nobody is moving anywhere. That is his room, and it will remain his room. He is going away for a brief period, and when he comes home, he will come home to his room. You have a palatial estate, and the reason you love to tell everybody you live in the middle of nowhere is because connecting you to everywhere else are the boundaries of your estate. So, yeah, you're just far out because it's all of your property spreading out far and wide. He needs his own room, and he needs to stay. He's not going to sleep on the sofa. He'll come home for a holiday. He needs to get another iPhone at Halloween time, Hanukkah time. It's called Hanukkah.
2 years. He has to wait 2 years.
I make Halloween now. It has age in it. He used to wait 2 years
for a new phone.
Because of
Yeah.
Apple. I thought it was a Judaic principle. No, okay.
It's in the Torah. 2
right.
years per phone.
That's right. Yes, do good, show love, get phone.
Get phone. Speaking of what's in the Torah, I heard you've been playing Matchmaker.
You know, I have.
Can you sing it for me first?
No.
Why?
I'm not that. You're supposed to. I'm not that person.
I love your voice.
Stop it. I don't know that song, Matchmaker, Matchmaker. My favorite part of all this, before I tell you about the Matchmaker thing, is I've been trying to educate myself on 1940s, 50s Hollywood movies. So I watched Christmas in Connecticut. It was a delight. I watched it and I've watched it again. I'm trying to get caught up because I said, "Hey, what are your Christmas movies?" And because I truly was curious, and there were a lot on there that I had never heard of. One of which was Meet Me in St. Louis. Have you ever watched Meet Me in St.
I
Louis?
haven't. That's a Christmas movie?
Yeah, White Christmas with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye was last night, and I just watched that, and it's okay. You know, I've watched it. That's all you need to say, right?
I've been there.
Christmas in Connecticut was kind of meh, and then I played it again because I was like, I don't feel like changing the channel. I was just doing something else, and then it gets cuter and cuter because you get all the gags and you laugh. So, Meet Me in St. Louis is a fucking LSD horror trip. It is so fucking awful. I don't even understand how it got made. It is creepy and weird and bizarre. Judy Garland gets into a fist fight with her neighbor. The little kid
This is so surreal. What are you talking about?
The little kid tries to kill the man down the street. These are not jokes. This is just the fucking plot, right? You know, it's, oh my God, Daddy. It's terrible. And they lie to everybody about everything. It is the weirdest fucking shit. And it goes through the whole year, right? So they sing a song and the father's a total dick to everybody. And it's all these, and they're wearing these clothes that look like you were so high in the costume department when you're, even at the time, tassels on everything, tit tassels and tassels on your tit tassels. And the color scheme, clang, clang, clang with the trolley.
That's all I know from that.
The fucking
reference.
goofy ass. You got to watch this thing. And I think it would be ideal to watch it while you're lit. It's like getting high and watching Teletubbies. Somebody's got to get high and watch Meet Me in St. Louis. And you'll be a little frightened. But I think you should watch it once and then say, what the fuck did I just watch? That's the truth.
I've been doing the Hallmark Christmas movies because I don't know. It's a meditation more than anything else. It's formula. You know that formula. And again, at the end of every one of them, I'm like, so wait, you got on that sleigh, you're covered in a blanket, and here's your opportunity for a little finger banging. Like, what? Why do you
What? They don't finger bang at Hallmark.
Why do you miss the whole idea of Hallmark After Dark? Like, I don't understand.
Oh my God,
you're riding
you are
away.
So
like,
corrupted.
I might be.
Whatever happened to the delight of just being close to someone else and snuggling? You don't have to insert your finger into an orifice to make that happen.
I feel you do. I feel that's the next logical step. I feel if you would like to know what happens with this couple, look under that blanket. And why for the last half hour can't you show us? I'm not letting it go. Hallmark After Dark is a fucking genius concept, and I don't know why. And just because it's Christmas, you're not going to do it? Actually, what better Christmas gift can you get than a little wah.
I have been playing Matchmaker, and I've slowed it down because I made 2.5 successful matches, and it gave me such a thrill. I was thinking about my friend Jody. who I'd been talking to off and on. I haven't seen her in a while. Actually, she even tried to catch up with me 2 days ago. She was dropping off something for a neighbor of mine and said, "Can I just see you?" And it didn't work out at the time. It was very sad. I miss her, miss her, miss her. Okay. She is a perfect person. She is a delight. She is super funny, right? And it makes no sense that she is on the market. Now, she had been married for a very, very long time to a super not perfect person. And that really only ended in the past, I'm going to take a guess, 2 years maybe?
Amy, you know we can't all be perfect.
Well, it's the kind of thing where I don't know how many people even know that she's on the market, and she's not been on the market for a long time. So it makes sense in that way. It's not like she's been perfect all this time and people pass her over. That's a different kind of situation, not the situation. So there's this sort of continual idea that we need to get a public relations campaign going for this gal. You know, it's like, I don't understand. People just don't know what's available to them.
Call our friend who did
It's the secret chef.
Eve.
It's the secret chef menu, and nobody knows to ask the chef, right? So we got to somehow get her to the front page. Anyway, she was just on my mind, and on a whim, I just posted something to Facebook. Hey, where are all them hot men at, or something? You know, I listed out, here's what we're looking for in a man. And I didn't reference her. I didn't link her. It was meant to be, I'm just thinking about you. I'm just putting it out there. I put a lot of stuff out there that goes nowhere. I didn't expect it to go anywhere. And within an hour, I had like 68 comments. And they were not comments like, haha, that's funny, who you talking about? They were comments like the geriatric cult that I told you about, the heaving bosoms. They were like, hi, and include me, please. I'm looking for, and people would list out. It became like Match.com. They were like, yes, I'm seeking, you know, pina coladas and walks in the rain and all the rest of it, and on and on and on and on, and bing, 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 bing. And then men are raising their, yes, and I'm like, yeah, it's great, lady. And it was all women. All the ladies came running. And I'm like, this is great. I need some dudes. Then the dudes came running and started posting photos of themselves.
Are you serious?
Yes! Dustin, former trainer.
These are people you know?
And yeah, Dustin. And he's great. He's too young. So now I'm having to have this hardship of, okay, I got to get him, break him out into boxes, right? I got to get some people in this age range and that age range. So as this is going on and I'm thinking about, you know, who can I connect? Okay. Another one of these people comes out of the woodwork, and it's Ping. So it's my friend Mark Pingator, right? Worked with him for 11 years. Haven't seen him since. See him on the socials, you know. But it's like you used to work together and you don't. Okay. He ran the whole studio where we worked. It's a very specific part of the art department. So he's also from, you know, Philly. He's a band guy. So we have a lot of connections, right? Okay. He's Italian. You understand? Okay. He's fucking married. Because we used to always have the running joke. He had a picture that his daughter drew of a mermaid with all of her spangly shells. And then the one spangly shell in a triangle shape right over her pubes was a different color. And he said, this is a beautiful mermaid. And he goes, yes, and I gave her a special shell. So that's so gross. So we would always comment on this ridiculous, like she was too young to know about the special shell. So we always had this running joke about the special shell. Anyway, and he's a punk rocker, all these things. He writes, yeah, I'm single. And I couldn't believe it because he's been married all this time, even because one of the memories of him is from his fucking kid. Okay. Then, so he's telling me I'm single, and not 15 minutes before, a woman who also I knew to be married with kids, magically is not, because she's known for no cookie Christmas cards, magically is not married anymore. And she writes me privately in the DM, giving me a recommendation for somebody else. And she goes, and while you're looking, I'm looking for somebody who's kind of like a punk rocker. My best friend, her actual best friend is the lead singer of Gene Loves Jezebel. Not kidding. And she's going on. And I'm like, well, first of all, fuck your date. We're going out for cocktails because I'd like to meet this. I saw them in concert. So we had this whole little, like, how did I not know this about you? So we did this little bing, bing, bang, bang, bang. Okay. Then Ping comes up and I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? I can't believe it. I got somebody for you. Put them together. She's like, yeah, I'm looking for a little bit of a bad boy and this and that. And blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. Later that night, I connected them and they said hello. And they're like, this is really fucking weird. I'm not really sure what to do about this. I'm going to go with it. Later that night, Ping sends me a private message. I haven't talked to this man. I can't even tell you. In 1.5 million since the earth was cooling, I've not talked to this man. Sends me a private message. And he said, I feel I somehow need to express gratitude for what happened today. I don't even know what's going to happen, but this has been the most positive movement in my life that I can even think of.
Now I'm going to cry again.
If nothing goes forward at all, the similarities and the level of connection is uncanny. So I guess thanks. And I said, I guess you're welcome. So I was fucking high as a kite, and I started connecting other people. And I connected these two people who are fucking great for each other, but unfortunately his number is too high and she can't get over it, which sucks. But I get it. Meaning he's too old for her.
Oh,
He's
okay.
too
I'm
old
like,
for her.
he slept with too
She's-
many people
No,
and she can't
they
get
are,
over
they
it?
are absolutely perfect for each other, truly perfect. He is very, very young for his age, but his age is fucking high. So, and she was just not willing to do it because her last serious relationship had to do with there being a difference in their ages, and that, you know, it becomes a health issue when you get older and there's a big difference in your ages. There
You're
tends
taking
to be,
care of a...
She's like, she specifically said, I was his nurse and his purse,
Oh.
and I'm not going to do that. I'm like, how loving. But in any event, I just felt in any event, I was like, I feel you. Yeah.
You're an
So
excellent
I'm still
human being.
I'm just, well, I mean, I just can't imagine speaking about a spouse that way. But I'm just saying, you know, it ain't up to me. I didn't connect him, so he's still. And then there was another one that was like an instant.
Are you starting a
You like
database
baseball?
right now?
You like baseball? No, I don't. I'm not starting anything, and I've moved off of it because I started giving out, you know, presents to Toys for Tots, and that actually was wildly successful. So
Yeah.
I've moved on, but I still have my ear to the ground. So if you are single, and you know, distance doesn't matter. I got people in all four corners of the flat Earth globe. So wherever you live, I blow the shofar. Come on out.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting was when we first went into this quarantine, and I thought, I'm so grateful that we dated when we did. It's that younger age that I was most concerned about in the beginning. Like, how do you not have a college experience and sleep around and try this, try that? Like, how are you in your early 20s and you don't have the opportunity to do any of the stuff that is discovery?
Why
that
was
is,
there not asphalt falling on your vomit-laced face? I mean,
why
this is
didn't you
really-
get that chance too? Exactly. Duty water from the asbestos-ridden tiles. About
That's it.
Like,
Asbestos. Asphalt on the face was a different vomit. Yeah.
oh, totally different vomit. She had that one too, by the way.
Yeah, I know it. I was there.
Yes, you were. So
More than once.
So that was a dynamic that I was worried about for a very different age group. But you're really hitting that niche, scratching that niche. That really, first of all, there's a whole group that are no longer attached that we didn't know were no longer attached. But for you to do that,
That's the thing. Yeah.
start that database and start plugging in like information and
The date hyphen abase.
the date base. You also mentioned that you got, the holiday card lady. Have you gotten a lot of holiday cards this year?
I have gratefully received very few, including yours, my darling, and I have nowhere to put it, so I just have it here in the office. It's right next to me, in fact.
You can't
'Cause we
put
don't
it on
have
the
any-
dishwasher door?
None of our stuff is magnetized. No, it's all stainless, and it doesn't, none of it works. But I have it in here where I put things, and I'm in my office, and I'm looking at it, and it's delightful. I call this into being, which means it ain't gonna fucking happen. I am going to return cards to thems that sent, and I am not. And I've received a pittance of cards. I already told you, not doing them this year, and I'm grateful to see so many people who always do them posting theirs online and saying 2020,
Suck a
really
dick.
thwarted me. I've got stuff in the mail that's been in the mail since November 26th that's still not here. I'm not spending money on cards that aren't going to go anywhere. I'm just not going to do it. I needed something, a piece of makeup, for crying out loud. And I thought, well, I can walk into Macy's, which is right here, or I can just have them ship it to me for free, and I'll get it in a couple of days. And I'll get my little Rakuten. So I did that. And that's been since November 28th or 6th or 5th or November of last year, 2019. It's still not fucking here. And I just checked, and they're like, your package is in Kansas, and we expect it to arrive to you next year. Like, at this point, I just want to cancel the shit, take my chances with an N95, go in there, grab the thing. It's going to take, a minute and a half to make this transaction. It's all, don't put anything in the mail. Holiday cards. The fact that yours is even here.
Those
is
went
a
so
fucking
fast.
Miracle. It's
They
a
went-
fucking miracle. So what are you doing? I see that
Well,
you
you
mailed
know
some.
that-
Are you getting lots of cards?
Well, the reason for that is that douchebag who lives in your neighborhood.
Yeah, DeJoy. Yeah.
He canceled all the sorters because he tried to fuck
Yeah.
with the election. So
Yeah.
if those sorters are now, it's hand sorted. So now it's
It's not.
this one, that one.
I have long since stopped posting and sharing and spreading information that I keep seeing and hearing about. Here's a photograph of the inside of the regional Greensboro shipping department, and it's floor to ceiling boxes. And here's what my supervisor told me: if something falls on the floor, sweep it up. It's meant for the trash. Like, it's not like just the most ridiculous. I'm not verifying the stuff. I'm not the stories are so ridiculous and so bad and so widespread. It's like, if you've ever tried to ship anything, I think you know without being told how bad it is. You don't need me in your feed, so I'm going to stick to Toys for Tots that I deliver in my own car, and I'm going to stick for, Tits for Dicks that I connect through my date-a-base, and that's how I'm going to spend my time. And I'm maybe going to get around to decorating the tree, which still is not fucking decorated, which makes me crazy insane. I want to hear you wanted to talk more about holiday letters. I don't want to cut that off too much because I know that there's something good there.
So we get holiday cards. You said it. We got a lot, much fewer, many fewer, much, less, fewer.
Ask that kid from Rhode Island. They're giving him money. Hey, President, numbers. What's my grammar for this situation? Hang on, I got to move the drip bucket.
Yo, that's a fat chunk of change they gave him. Like, that's way more than the
$67 million.
$70 million.
They gave him $70 million?
Yeah.
Wow. Can he count to 70 million? He can if he's a presidential scholar, bitch. Well,
he will when he graduates from URI. Because they see him doing great things there. Great things.
You or I are getting happy. Good for you.
They see him doing big, big things. So we got just a few. Let's say...
Congratulations.
10 to 15. We usually get like 40 plus holiday cards.
Yeah. Probably more than that.
Probably more than that. Yeah, we get a bunch, and somehow I'm still on certain people's lists that I don't know why I'm still on your list. Like,
right? I gotta believe it's like they're trying to have a bigger list. Like, that's how I'm still on this list.
You could save a few pennies by not sending me your kids this year. Like, I don't know them. Okay, thanks. But there are a couple of people who sent out my very favorite. If you're a long-term listener to this podcast, it's the holiday letter. And I love hearing what each child has done, because my holiday letter would be like, this is how this kid fucking disappointed me this year. You get to hear all about it. This is how this kid disappointed me. Could you believe fucking Stu did this year? Like, my letter would be very different than their letters. They're making it rain just positive seeds of joy. And I don't know that some of these things are truly joy worthy. Like, that, good for you finding a rainbow in that shitstorm that was thrown at you. 2020 is not a year where you're good. Okay, so your kid's in the marching band. I've already judged you. I'm so sorry.
A little sad. Yeah.
I've already put you in a category of...
And I'm a marching band family. I am a marching band family. And let me be crystal clear. My nephew is quite an elite in the competitive collegiate marching band circuit. That's very different than saying we're a marching band family, but that's what I say. Okay.
It takes up your whole life.
He's a drumline guy. Yeah.
It's every day after school. It's every weekend. It's competitions. It's practice. It's your whole life. So now that there is no band because you can't gather, so curious when all of the letters came out to hear how you can shit rainbows on me when you clearly can't do anything.
You're so bitter, and holiday bitter is the best. You're like a delightful bitter. Fucking nutty ass fruitcake. Bring it. Oh, I love your acid. Come on.
So oh, it was hard this year, came out at the top, but we still found a way. And I'm like, yes, pour it on me. Like, I want to hear it all. And it wasn't I was a little disappointed this year that
we made it from the first floor to the second floor.
Laundry was folded. Like, why?
I mean, even as I say that, I'm fucking like goals, because that's not happening in our house.
My goal is to... Stuart started to back up my computer. He goes, can you check your computer and see how far along it is? I'm like, it's upstairs.
No. Isn't that your job?
Tonight.
Aren't you the IT department?
When I go to bed, maybe. But
what's in it for me? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's amazing that I rode this morning in the basement and walked all the way up those basement stairs.
You're so
got
good.
lightheaded.
So good.
That's it. This is where I'll die, right here on this floor. But I can't use the shower in my bathroom because we're convinced that's where the water drip thing is. So we have to, we all are juggling where we use water in this house, trying not to use the direct line that's feeding the drip. So middle of the night when Stuart gets up to pee or doesn't because he knows he has to leave our room and
he just whips it out the window.
Zigzag through. The dogs are like, what the fuck? How come he could be in the house and I can't? Yeah. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. But anyway, the cards we've gotten, it's the people who are holding steady and trying to keep one thing normal, one thing that you've done every year, trying to stay. I sent out a card. I capped it at 50 this year. I have many more that I could have sent, but I was not about to. Nope. And I don't have to write anything on mine because mine's a fucking magnet. So it just sticks right up on the garage door, which is metal, and it just right next to last year's. And it's not even a good picture of the girls in our family, but the boys look fantastic. So
it's very dark. You had mentioned that it was very dark.
Yeah,
and I don't think the photo was dark. I think the reproduction, the execution of it. I think they printed it maybe a little darker than it should have been.
And that's how you know it's 2020 because
I get to see you. Yeah, it's everybody else is like, mine's all fucked up.
Yep.
I mailed these in July. Yeah.
My girlfriend Dulcie sent out a gorgeous picture of her family, and it says on the bottom, "Love John and Pat." And I thought, who the fuck are John and Pat?
Do I know you?
She did a top 10 list attached in the envelope that said, here's how you know 2020 has completely fucked with us. I did these cards on my phone and the writing was too small and I couldn't read that it said John and Pat on the bottom. And like she sent it out totally fucked up with the wrong names on it.
Oh my God. She physically printed the wrong names on her card?
A whole set of them. And because she did it on her phone and she either wasn't wearing glasses or whatever the thing was, it printed that way. And I love John and Patricia. They are definitely
they're my favorites.
They are my favorites. Yeah. I'm like,
next birthday, you need to make her a cake. Happy birthday, Pat.
Exactly. I'm like, wait, I know that boy's name is Quinn and who are John and Pat? Connor.
Something you need to tell us, I think.
Greg, Dulcie. Are your parents? I started going through and I'm like, no, this is fucked. And I wonder if she knows. And then I opened her Christmas letter and it just said, here's how fucked 2020 is. John and Pat, if only they had paid for those cards, it would have been better. But she sent them out anyway, and I admire that because she got creative with it.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yep, I made the decision early and often. We're not fucking doing that. And it's been a helpful little reminder. But I'm slowly clawing my way back into doing more, and it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
It's more exhausting than I remember. And that's just...
But you got to get in the flow. Like right now, Stuart said to me, we got to work out tips. And I'm like,
what?
Did you
say
that
mean?
Tits? He said, no, tips for like the mailman and for the garbage guy.
Oh, for fuck's sake, sit down. Are you kidding?
And I said, I'll get envelopes and then I'll walk out of the room because I don't know what to tell you. Yes, of course we have to still tip them. And of course we still need to, let's do this.
You're going to tip your fucking mailman.
Yes.
Or letter carrier.
Yes. I think he'd be happy being called a mailman. He's definitely my mailman.
Well, I didn't know if it was a dude.
It's a dude. It's a big dude. I'm a mailman.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay.
Yeah, so we're keeping it as normal as can be. So we are leaving tips for, we left the cleaning lady double the extra, whatever, last week. That hurt. But
I fucking hate that shit, especially when you described her quality.
Yes. And
I'm of the plan. I think that's the right thing to do. We have long since slowed down, so it's not a 2020 thing. We did not do anything different for our letter. We don't do anything to commemorate our letter carrier at the end of the year. We just don't, and I'm perfectly okay with that. He goes out of his way to mail everybody a postcard with like a pre-printed, Jerry written at the bottom of it. And it's like, thank you. You don't need to like drum up some kind of, anyway. He's not He's a little surly. It's not that great. At that certain point, that's it's like tipping a toll worker to me. This is a job that you have. I understand that being a postal carrier, we don't have a personal relationship with him, is what I'm getting at.
We don't really either.
Well, I don't, time was you did. And this was somebody who would look out for you and who would move the packages for you and kind of take care of things and provide a more personalized service. Now, that's not what we have here. So anyway, by way of saying all of that, we don't really have the long laundry list. And frankly, unless your hair service falls at everybody we work with is the owner, and it's kind of weird to tip the owner, but it's nice to tip the owner, but it's kind of weird to tip the owner. We tip regularly. It's not like I don't tip because the owner cuts my hair, but to give her like a holiday tip, unless I'm having a service like 2 weeks before Christmas, I don't do anything. I don't do anything special. You're getting enough of my money, and I take all 5 of my kids to your salon and keep you fucking in business. We're okay. We value the service, but you don't tip my husband for delivering printed items to you. It's just it starts to feel like that. We're not in a tip-based industry, so I get that it's the right thing to do, but there ain't no pile of fucking envelopes on my counter in 2018. I'm sure as fuck not doing it now. So,
well, my daughter works for the hairdresser, number one, and number two, she works there on Thursdays, and Thursdays are when I go to the Amish market, so she gets a blueberry treat every Thursday. So that's kind of our tip for her.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. Yeah. And I donate more money than I should to a whole bunch of fucking places. So I sort of feel like that's my do-goodery in the world.
Yeah, anyway. I definitely think that's true. I got a holiday letter this year from a company called, and I'm going to throw a plug out here because I bought a t-shirt this year from a female Black-owned company called Be Bougie.
Oh.
And I have a couple of them actually from them. One of them says unapologetically me. One says unapologetically dope. Like I have these really fun. So I get this letter, this holiday letter that says, I'm reaching out to you today because you chose this year to support a female Black-owned business. And I want you to know how much we appreciate it. And it was right after I read that here's 10 grand a year from Delaware. And here's 6, like just all these numbers. And I was so moved by their customer service and their being grateful for and their knowing how simple it is to just say either thank you or I'm sorry, because those are the most powerful words you can really use. And I jumped right on back online and started to look at their new designs to see how else I could support them. And instead, I went to go get envelopes to support the postal carrier. And
tip your fucking plumber. Yeah, no.
Oh, are you kidding me? You know what he's charging? No, I'm not. That's crazy. No,
thank you. Yeah, thank you for your service, and here is your fee paid. Bye. All right, I'm not tipping you.
On the scale of who do you tip, let's say I got a phone call this week from Raymore and Flanagan, and they said, we found your...
Here's a tip. Make my sofa properly. Yeah.
Let's say they called me this week, which they did, and they said, we found your navy blue sofa, which they did, and it was mixed up with the red one, which it was, and we're going to try to get it to this place to get it delivered with the chair, whatever. When that guy comes to deliver it, does he get a tip for carrying a heavy sofa into my house?
Probably. He's got nothing to do with anything other than his job is hard. Like if it's a freezing cold day, it depends. Is it up a whole bunch of steps? You got to go all the way around the front of the house. Is he coming in through the garage? Like which way is he going? Around the front of the house?
No, it's a very simple delivery. It's a front of the house into the front room. Like it's a very easy.
If I have cash in the house, I might give him $10. It's not like a crazy thing, but it's like, your lunch is on me, that kind of thing.
Well, how much do you think I'm tipping the letter carrier, mailman, postal creep?
I don't know, $50?
Now you're making me feel cheap.
What are you giving him?
Well, there's the trash man and recycle guy, and they come and they will get probably $40 because there are 2 of them, and everybody. I think our thing was everybody gets $20 or $25. But
that's very generous and nice and great.
Well, you just said $50 and made me feel like
because you're stupid and rich and you tip your fucking mail carrier. You don't even know who it is. So yes, we only gave him $1,000. Like I don't know what you do in gold estates. So yeah.
Oh dear.
I think that's great. $10, whatever. I don't like tipping people in person. It's really creepy.
No,
to me.
we
I don't,
tape it
No,
to
no, no,
the-
no, no, no. In this way, if ever 1,000 years ago, we used to do this thing where you'd go to a place called a hotel, right? And it would happen when you were doing something called traveling. Right?
Oh, I think I remember that.
Okay. Frequently, you would have a bag or more than one bag, and other people would be employed in the service of moving these bags for you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You give them something in their hand, and it's like even the whole thing is just so gross to me to have to tip somebody in person. I will leave you a ridiculously high tip on the bill at a restaurant every time without fail. I always do, and my common practice is to find your manager, and in addition, give a verbal "this was the greatest service." A verbal compliment accolade as well as the tip. That's my typical thing to do. But if I have to give you $2 or $3 for carrying my shit, I would rather like knock you down and take money out of your pocket. Like I have such a weird tipping.
That is very weird.
My tipping is off balance. I can't. I super over tip always in places where tipping. There's a line that says write the tip down. But when you got to make this judgment call for like this clown held the door for me. Now do I got to tip you? Like I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I frequently say, get ready, feminists. I frequently say, that's man's work. Like, I don't even want to fucking think about it. You handle that shit. I'll do something else. I'm not doing that.
I don't think feminists will be upset because you're saying it's dirty work and I don't want it because you don't want the exchange, the eyeball exchange of look.
My favorite is once when I looked at Lisa and I said, that's man's work. You do it. She looked at me like, what? So, because she's a very powerful lesbian. But you know what? She did tip very well. She gave $20 to the valet and looked him dead in the eye. And she said, I want you to remember me when we come back. And I was like, damn, she's got some balls. That's why I said it's man's work. I can't have these conversations with people. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem tipping. I don't. I mean, especially for something like a service. Like, so when we go to a hotel, I need my own blanket just because I tuck in on either side and sleeping in a bed with a child or a spouse.
Not blanket, duvet.
I need my own duvet. You're right.
They have blankets in the closet for people who need
no,
their own blankets.
I don't want
sandpaper. You need your own fucking duvet, which is like saying, I need a separate mattress and I would like a new toilet installed. These are not common fucking things.
Yeah, I do ask for a new duvet, like the down ones, not the sandpaper ones they leave in the closet for you. I don't sleep in sandpaper.
Ma'am, this is a Motel 6.
I won't stay there either. Sorry. But when they come and carry that big fluffy thing to my room, I don't give them $20, but I'll give you a couple of bucks for jetting up to my room when I was like, I can't sleep on sandpaper because I'm annoying. You get money. That's how that works.
I should do that every time. And I always have people bring stuff to the room and I never tip them. Never.
Well,
if they present me with the folio where I get to write, of course. And half the time the tip's already included, I'll put a little extra juice on there. That's fine. But when you carried up the 2 extra pillows and the toothpaste that I forgot and, the latest copy of, bougie bitch twat magazine that I've asked for from the lobby, I say thank you and now get out of my room because I don't want you in my room because I'm a little bit scared because I don't know you anyway and it's dark and it's nighttime and I'm alone in a hotel.
We've traveled through New Jersey where you're not allowed to pump your own gas. And so there's a guy who's out there standing in the freezing fucking snow cold and he's pumping gas
snow cold.
Like
forecast today is for snow cold.
Like a complete idiot going from pump to pump to pump to pump and he's managing 8 different pumps and he's running around like a fucking maniac. You wouldn't tip him for pumping your gas?
No. Mm-mm.
So they give you the clipboard to sign. I sign, and you fold a couple of bucks up, and you put it under the metal spring thing.
No, and I don't tip the person sitting in the frigid booth at the airport when we used to go to airports. At the person sitting in the frigid booth at the airport thing, so I can get my specific receipt for paying for the parking for wherever I've been. No, I don't tip them for sitting there in the cold booth. In this way,
they have a heater there. That's different.
I don't see how it's
I've never
any
tipped that guy either.
There's a line for tip. Here's the difference. The person who is working the job at the service station in New Jersey is working the job because the law was smart enough to say we need jobs at every economic level. And when we make pump your own gas, we eliminate a job that could be required and available to folks.
Yes, it is a right to work state. Correct.
Here it is. Well, 2 different things, but yes, it is a right to work state, which means your employer can fire you without cause at any moment. That's what right to work actually means. However, it does mean that they are preserving a job for a human to never be taken away. That's why they mandate that you can't pump your own gas. Not because you couldn't do it yourself, because they want someone to have a job. And I think that's great, and I support it. And I also didn't need to support it by giving a tip. I don't tip the grocery clerk, even though you're on your feet just as much. You're indoors. I don't know. I sound like I'm being a really terrible person, but I far prefer to have a more of a European mentality that no one is expected to get a tip. So that when you get a tip, it is a delightful, unexpected, gracious thank you. It's not tied to your employment depends on whether I'm generous today. I get very angry about tipping for that reason. And so I do the worst possible thing, which is to not tip. And like, I wouldn't tip the guy pumping the gas in New Jersey. I wouldn't.
If any of these people, we used to have this thing called the theater that we went to.
I've heard about it. I think it sounds like a charming thing. I'd love to experience it someday.
So when I went there 100 years ago, there's a woman who works in the lavatory, and her job is to hand you a paper towel and clean up the counter, and she has a little bowl there for tips. Well, would you tip her?
No.
Right. So my theory is if you are fucking delightful and you are doing a job with grace and joy and you are spreading that joy, you are going to get a tip from us, from me. And that's kind of what we're handing down to our kids. These are people who take a job that is this a job you want, child? No. That take that and they make the best of this job and they do their best and they make it respectful. They make it they make it a job that they are proud to do. And for that reason, that's absolutely when I leave a tip.
I agree with you completely. And I will tell you that it is an economic decision for me. And here's why. I know that I would not tip that person because I've encountered that person in clubs, nightclubs that you go into. I didn't enter that nightclub desiring the service for someone to supervise me while I urinate and then make me feel creepy while I wash my hands and hand me a towel that I could pick up on my own. I don't desire the service. I don't even want you in here. I'm affronted that you're here at all, and I certainly don't want to have to pay you or think about your economic status when you're already making me uncomfortable. I feel like I don't want that service. And on some weird level, I feel like the New Jersey service station is the same situation. This is a requirement of the state. I didn't tell you to take, you know what I mean? Everyone in this state has to go through this same thing. It's not something I can opt out of. So why do I have to now tip out versus I have elected to get you're delivering my mail versus I have elected to get my hair cut from you specifically. I have chosen this restaurant specifically where tipping is part of the practice and I'm not getting fleeced. I'm actually showing you the value and the trust and the benefit that I get out of your specific, unique service that was a choice for me. So that's where somebody carrying a bag or a service of the hotel that I knew when I booked this hotel, if I forgot something, they say readily, we're going to bring it to you. That's a service of the hotel that I pay with my $300 a night bill. Do I have to pay $306 now? Like that's for me. If I had some Melissa, is her name Melissa Bezos? I don't remember what that billionaire giveaway lady is.
Her money.
Amazon's ex-wife's money, right? Yeah, I tip the fuck out of everybody. I tip the fuck out of strangers. Thanks for walking down the street. Here you go. But for me, I feel like I put a lot of different thought into giving out that money. Is it good to show an example like that? Absolutely. Is it good to make sure that other people get a little sum? Absolutely. Do they deserve a little sum? Absolutely. So do I. So I get all of that, and yet I still hesitate. I still have the alligator arms that way. I'd love to say that I feel super bad about it. I kind of don't. It's if tipping is appropriate, I absolutely tip. Where it's questionable, I'm going to say I absolutely don't. That's just the case. But you
dear
already
listener,
knew I was a bad person. When you listened, you knew I was a bad person.
Dear listener, can you please tell us what is appropriate or what you do? Because I don't fucking know that you know what's appropriate. I don't know. Who are you to trust you?
They listen to this fucking show. You want their judgment? I mean, come on.
I do. I want their opinion about what's appropriate.
No, not judging us. You want to trust their judgment is what I said. I don't need your fucking judgment.
I'm curious. Tell us what you think.
That's my job. Judging me is my job, and I'm great at it.
Write us at brilliantobservations brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Go onto our Facebook page, Brilliant Observations. Find us on Twitter or Instagram at Listen Brilliant. Let us know your thoughts on tipping. Let us know who you tip, who you would never tip. We want just the tip. Give us the information that we are asking, and you will be tipped. You'll be rewarded with your guesses. Another podcast next week.
I guess a finger bang in a snow cold sleigh.
I don't know why it would be so hard to, or just or under that blanket handy, Jay. Like, you know what's going on.
Jesus, you are so
if this were
depraved.
real life and that's what you're trying to portray, suspend reality.
If this was real life, I
Yeah.
would be caught up in the romance of the moment. Porno bang. I wouldn't be sitting there like, let's get the horse involved.
Thank you
Like,
so
you're
much
just
for
gross.
listening. We love that you're here. We love you. Merry, 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 merry. Something.